Good evening and welcome to News Hour. I am Kojo Kwafo. Coming up in tonight's edition of News Hour, former Chelsea player Michael Essien assures President Bill of his intention to invest in Sierra Leone. The Ministry of Health and Sanitation launches Sierra Leone Ebola database, and the Chief Minister assures persons living with disability of a free quality education and healthcare. All these stories and much more are lined up in tonight's edition of News Hour. Former Chelsea player Michael Essien and wife have assured President Julius Maada Bio of their support to his government by investing in the agriculture, education and energy sectors. Mrs. Akosua Luni Essien made the disclosure during a meeting with President Bio at State House, as they have been embarking on the same investments in the African continent. Hawamasio reports.
As the government continues to intensify more collaborative efforts to develop the country, more donors and partners in development are still expressing interest to support the government. In this regard, Michelle and Mike Hills Limited, who is owned by a former footballer of Chelsea and wife, is now planning to support President Julius Maada Bio's new direction agenda in the education, energy, agriculture and telecommunications sectors. Akosua Luni Essien told President Julius Maada Bio and team that they achieved in bringing up so many footballers in Africa and encouraging them to preach peace and organizing games of hope, which was created to mobilize youth in promoting education in most of the African countries. Madam Essien said this is how they transform most of the youths who are now entrepreneurs and writers who also promote literacy in their communities.
We are here looking at different business interests in Sierra Leone, and we've got partners who we've invested in their businesses and we've worked with alongside. Mr. Pandanua has kindly advised us on how to do business. So before going into the various sectors, we're just here to introduce ourselves to you, let you know we are in Sierra Leone to work for the betterment of your government and the people. We're keen and excited about Sierra Leone, and we've got a lot of ideas. We have a lot of partners and we're looking at telecoms. Some of them do refurbishing of airports. There's a company we've worked with in the past, they do biometric passports and IDs for communities so we can ascertain the people.
President Julius Maada Bio described his administration as a new era, as his government is looking at things aimed to provide very sound governance system for the people of Sierra Leone. The president also informed the team about his new direction administration agenda, whose aim focus is on education, health, agriculture and energy sectors. He noted that Sierra Leone used to be the atoms of West Africa, adding that most of the civil servants in the West African sub-region attended educational institutions in Sierra Leone.
What we put as our flagship program is actually education. Education, of course, I don't need to stress the importance, but for some of us who've gone through it very easily, we take it for granted. And we don't even value it anymore because it's part of us. But a lot of people are losing around the world, dropping out of school for mere $10, $15 a year. So we are known once for the quality of education which we provided, and we are able to share that with the West African region and even Africa. Most of the civil servants around West Africa came here, but now that's not the situation, so we are trying to turn things around.
Chief Minister Professor David Francis commended Mr. and Mrs. Essien for the visit and also plans for the country, as he is impressed with their developmental initiatives that they are planning to embark on in the country. He informed them about the recent moves by the government towards agriculture, which led to the launch of a consultative forum with the private sector for rice production. as the government wants to make rice a lucrative commercial venture where people can become multimillionaires, as Sierra Leone used to export rice to other countries. President Julius Maada Bio also visited the Sierra Leone People's Party office at Wallace Johnson Street in Freetown, where he addressed party supporters to be patient as the government is trying to put structures in place. The status of the country's economy, he told the supporters, was in a very bad shape when his government took office. He noted the high expectations of supporters, but said his government is working hard to make sure that things get better for every citizen. SABC TV News are in Freetown. Homosero reporting.
The Chief Minister has assured persons living with disabilities of free quality education and healthcare. Professor David Francis was speaking at a Global Disability Summit satellite event held at the British Council Hall in Freetown. The commitment, he said, would achieve a lasting change for persons living with disabilities. Princess Gibson was at the event organized by the British High Commission, and she now reports.
Disability is a cause and consequence of poverty. With 15% of global disability, Sierra Leone as a developing country should take steps to address challenges faced by persons with disability. This year's Global Disability Summit satellite has seen commitments by the Chief Minister, Professor David Francis, to persons with disability.
As a government, we are committed to making the following. We provide free quality education for children with disabilities, and we will put measures in place to facilitate their access to learning. As a government, we will take on board the special case of children with disability as we start the implementation of the free quality education program in September. Secondly, we will make free healthcare accessible to people with disabilities by identifying challenges to access and developing a strategy to enhance their access.
Executive Director, Welfare Society for the Disabled in Cambia District, Joseph Aliu, who made a presentation on behalf of persons with disability, outlined some of the challenges they are faced with.
Special needs schools are very few in the country and they are far apart. And for some of these children, there is no way they can get an education if these special needs schools are not in their communities or in their districts. Their parents are poor. There is a strong relationship between poverty and disability. Lack of disability aids also came out in our discussions with these children.
The British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Guy Warrington, noted that the Global Charter has high-ranging actions for lasting change for persons with disability. Another form of disability is autism, which, according to the head of Autistic Society, Sierra Leone, Mary Pentimiti, requires highly specialized education and other needs. Some of the recommendations made include the full implementation of the 2011 Disability Act to foster inclusion, the establishment of a disability desk at various ministries, departments and agencies, and governments to honor Global Disability Charter. Princess Gibson, SLBC News.
Due to the outbreak that led to a massive loss of lives and left many in trauma, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Health Africa and Concern Worldwide, has launched the Sierra Leone Ebola Data SLED. The data would help family members locate their burial sites of their loved ones. The event took place at the Cochrane Military Headquarters in Freetown. Cynthia Kamara filed in this report that was read in our studios by Salma Tuba.
The
The Ebola outbreak in Sierra Leone in 2014 killed thousands and left many in a heart-rending state as you're unable to see the dead bodies of their relatives and their burial locations. The Ebola disease left unprintable and sad memories in the minds of Sierra Leoneans. It swept away the country's resources, both human and finance, causing a rapid scaling down of the economy. Relatives desire eagerly to know and identify their loved ones, but had ever been opportune to get that information. As a result of this, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with Disease Prevention and Control, Health Africa and Concern Worldwide, have thought it wise to establish an Ebola data to assist relatives of those killed by Ebola and buried by the then government access information easily. This would be a welcome initiative by the public, especially Ebola survivors. This was confirmed to SLBC by the data manager, Sailing Ebola Data, Jadnan Dalinda Harding, that the software will enable relatives of those who lost their lives during the Ebola outbreak get the right information of burial sites.
How to develop the incoming call script? There are so many steps. You have to design the form for the needed information to get the website based on our data knowledge. We develop the script for the incoming call. We have to review so many software because we need a software that is user-friendly.
National Health Coordinator Concerned Worldwide, Sarah Kundi, said even though there were lots of deaths during the Ebola outbreak, they ensured that they render safe and dignified burial to the dead.
Reunify families with the grace of their loved ones who died during Ebola. Very, very hard to make sure that the media message that we're broadcasting was absolutely right. We will be offering the service when we speak to people on the phone lines. That will be in either Creole, Timney or Monday.
Country Manager, Center for Disease Prevention and Control, Dr. John Reid, recalled the worst moments during the Ebola outbreak and admonished Sierra Leoneans to maintain hope. The country manager stated that he is happy about the great victory the country had over the epidemic.
The darkest times of my entire life, as well as some of the very highest times, and it really ran the whole gamut of emotion from some feelings, particularly as Dr. Jambai mentioned, in the fall of 2014 was, I'm sure, as dark a time as most of us have seen.
He lauded the group for its job in the country, as those who died did not die in vain.
The cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Kuroma, has said that eye-affected cases are on the increase to the rate of 60%, ranging from children to adults. He made the statement when SLBC went to the hospital to look at the rate of the number of cases and eye-affected diseases that they are dealing with. Maramasuma reports.
Many eye diseases have no early symptoms. They may be painless and you may see no change in your vision until the disease has become quite advanced. Boggling eyes, cataracts, cataracts in babies, color blindness, diabetic macular edema, glaucoma, and ocular hypertension, amongst others, are the different types of eye diseases that affect people. In Sierra Leone, cataracts are frequently reported to the site savers at the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown. The cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Kuroma, said that outreach examinations to school and outreach communities across the country is one of the two ways to identify their patients. He added that cataract, which is one of the most experienced eye disease, occurs as a result of other eye diseases and mostly developed naturally with age. In fact, by age 65, many people will develop a cataract.
Cataract, which is the highest cause of blindness, is normally the first cause of cataract is aging. As people progress in age, the lens actually moves away from transparent to opacity. And so one cause for cataract is aging. Another cause for cataract is trauma to the eye. Somebody hits you in the eye, a blunt object hits you in the eye, ball, stone, hits you in the eye, your chances of getting cataract increases. Certain drugs, if you're on certain drugs for over a protracted period of time, you will get cataract.
Dr. Alhaji Kuroma informed SLBC that per day, he and his team examine
over 50 patients who visited the hospital for treatment. The delicacy of the eye does not permit everyone to use an eye lens without the prescription of an optometrist. But the case is different, as nowadays people go in the streets to purchase eye lenses without their prescriptions. Patrick Edward is the optometrist at the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown. He explains more on the dangers of using an eye lens without prescription.
But the danger behind that is actually when you get, unprescribed lenses, like you rightly said, picking out reading glasses without being tested. We have what we call non-communicable diseases. Diseases wherein you don't see the sign, you don't see any eye sign, like when you see the eye red or discharging water, you can come to the clinic. But sometimes there are conditions in the eye wherein you cannot actually see anything happening, to the eye, when you look at it. But inside, at the back of the eye, there's something ongoing. So we call those conditions non-communicable because you don't see any sign. So it's a danger. You just go out there and then pick glasses anyhow, or you keep buying glasses without being tested, especially people who are over 40 years.
The cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Kuroma, whilst operating on a 4-year-old boy, said that parents are to be very careful with the type of objects their children used to play with. He said the boy is going through the surgery is as a result of a pressure on the eye that was hardly hit with an object. He advised that teachers should also pay attention to the kids at school when using sharp objects like pencils, as they have received many cases on that. Dr. Kuroma also advised women who normally fixed eyelashes to be very careful, as he said, by beautifying themselves, they will end up losing the most important part of their life, which is eyesight.
Precious eye to somebody in the name of beauty, it is just cosmetic. So in the process of seeing people presenting here with corneal abrasion, and the cornea is one of the most delicate part of the eye. In fact, it is called the window of the eye. Once that one has a problem, it reduces how much you see. So we've seen cases like that.
He also added that styling gel for the hair is also dangerous for the eye. It is interesting.
Using a styling gel called bouncing gel. I'm not sure whether that's the right name, but it's normally called bouncing gel. When applied to the hair, it allows you to style your hair how you want it. But it's so corrosive to the eye. And I will always tell them that that's not good for them. They shouldn't, because when you apply that bouncing gel to your hair, one string of hair touches your eye, you regret you did.
It is interesting seeing the type of equipment the hospital is using for surgeries. It's with the international best practices, which are encouraging compared to the way it was. However, according to the cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Kuroma, the single best way to protect your vision is through regular professional eye examinations. Of course, between examinations, if you notice a change in your vision or you think your eye may be injured in any way, contact your eye care professional immediately. SLBC News, Brian Masuma reporting.
The Anti-Corruption Commission has issued a strong warning to teachers and schools authorities to stop demanding money for the collection of report cards. In a press release issued by the Corruption, the act is contrary to the established position of the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education and Section 28 of the Anti-Corruption Act of 2008. The Commission reminds schools authorities that offering and receiving an advantage, whether solicited or not, is a crime under the Anti-Corruption Act of 2008, and defaulters would be dealt with accordingly. The Commission urges parents and pupils to resist any demands and desist from offering bribes to schools authorities. The country director of UNAIDS, Dr. Michael Byrne, has said that despite progress made in the fight against HIV and AIDS, there has been an increase in new infections in 50 countries in Africa. He made the statement during the launching of the Consortium for the Advancement of Rights of Key Affected Population (CAPAC) strategic plan 2017 to 2022 at the Bintumani Hotel Conference Hall, Aberdeen. Joseph Stanley reports.
Advancement of rights of key affected population was created in 2015 as a platform to advocate for and deliver community-based health services and to promote gender and human rights-based approaches, particularly for TB and HIV. According to Dr. Boom, Sierra Leone is likely to be among the 50 countries with the increase in new infection, noting that much needs to be done to reverse this trend. It described CACAP as a human rights organization established to protect and advocate for people that are left behind in the fight against TB and HIV.
And if 50% of new infections are coming from the constituency that CACAP covers, then this is very worrisome. Most importantly, progress in children is very, very low, and it's even slowing down. So, CACAP, you have a lot to do, starting from today.
The UN's country director congratulated CACAP for the strategic plan that will help guide them and encourage them to work as a team, as well as to take the lead to advocate for the voice of the voiceless. Launching the CACAP 2017-2022 strategic plan, the chairman, country coordinating mechanism, Reverend Alimami Kagbo, said because of the increase in the prevalence rate of HIV among key population, they thought it fit to set up CACAP to implement specific interventions to reduce HIV infection risks among key population. He encouraged members of the consortium to use the strategic plan as a guide not only to advocate for the human rights in key affected population, but also for behavior change. In her contribution, the chairperson of CACAP, Marie Benjamin, said 15 organizations made up the consortium that has made significant progress to help reverse the trend of HIV in key affected population. She said despite the strategic plan is ambition, they hope that at the end of the 5 years, they should have a stronger voice in advancing for the rights of key affected population. The chairperson of CACAP added that the strategic and operational plan are the blueprints that will guide their work as they aim to have diversified funding sources.
As a fledgling organization and in the midst of finding our feet, we also embarked on developing a document to guide our work in the form of our 5-year strategic plan, 2017 to 2022, through a very consultative process. The strategic plan we developed is aligned to the health sector recovery plan and will contribute to the realization of the vision enshrined in His Excellency the President's new direction.
According to other stakeholders, the strategic plan is the roadmap of the consortium that must be user-friendly and stand the test of times in addressing challenges faced in the fight against HIV in key affected population.
The Reliance Insurance Trust Corporation, RITCOP, recorded a profit after tax of 3.803 billion leones in 2017 compared to 3.8 billion leones in 2016, representing 26.3% growth. This was disclosed at the company's annual general meeting held at their headquarters in Freetown. Sheku Sumaila has more.
The company recorded a gross profit of 3.833 billion leones in 2017 as compared to 3.450 billion leones in 2016. Profit after tax was 3.803 billion leones in 2017 compared to 3.8 billion leones in 2016, representing a growth of 26.3%. These were some of the disclosures at the company's annual general meeting in Freetown. According to the board and management of RITCOP, they had a healthy financial position and funds were utilized in their ongoing construction of their head office block at Lamina Sanko Street in Freetown without facility from any financial institution. Building their human resource capacity was maintained as trainings were supported for staff. During this AGM, a dividend of 80 cents per share was proposed to shareholders, which they accepted. 2 directors who had retired by rotation made themselves available for re-election and were elected. Chairman, Reliance Insurance Trust Corporation Mohammed Cole said though 2017 was a struggling year for the country's economy, they were able to make, in his words, handsome profits.
We project to do far better than what we've done this year, considering the trend of things. The area where a lot of bleeding has been taking place has been blocked, so we hope that it will become a little better this year. Well, from the point of a director, I'm not too satisfied because I think we could have done better. But management was able to give, adequate reason, a convincing reason for why they did not do better, and they've been advised to take corrective measures so that they can do better.
Alice Onomaki, Managing Director, Ritcop, said as a company, they will continue to provide quality insurance services and that they are hopeful that this year will be better.
For this year, I project that we will do better. But that depends again whether the economy is good and whether the operating environment will be conducive.
At this AGM, the auditors, BDO, said they did their auditing following international best practice and were satisfied. Reporting for SLBC News, I'm Sheku Smaila.
The Institute of Public Administration and Management has held its annual International Business Seminar with the theme Foreign Direct Investment and National Development at the Family Kingdom Resort, Aberdeen. The aim of the seminar was to teach students pursuing business administration and financial services on how to become entrepreneurs. Aminash Nyandi Brahma was at the seminar and she filed in this report.
International business is a module only for years 2 students doing business administration and financial services at the Institute of Public Administration and Management. This seminar has been held annually for the past 10 years to help develop the entrepreneurial skills of students. A lecturer of international business at IPAM, James Coley, said over the past years, Sierra Leone has witnessed huge foreign direct investment, but the country is not benefiting much.
The students are reading what they call international business. One of the aspects of international business is simply foreign investment. So over the years, we have seen Sierra Leone been involved in huge foreign direct investment, but yet the nation is not reaping the fruits of investment. And so I have brought in technocrats to come and teach our students the different types of investments and how these investments are helping national development.
James Cole explained the reason why they took the students outside the classroom. A second-year business administration student, Kelvin Cole, stated that the seminar was for them to learn how to do business in Sierra Leone and beyond.
The essence of this seminar is to invite entrepreneurs, business managers, come and explain to us the practical aspect of doing business in Sierra Leone. What we are learning in classroom is just theory. So we've decided to invite experienced business people to impact our lives and explain to us how we go about foreign and international business.
One of the lecturers, Dr. Dennis Porter, said such seminar will help prepare students on the practical aspects of business and its challenges. Another student, Manot Loveto Kroma, urged government to make the business environment conducive for investors. An entrepreneur and businessman, Martin Michael, said for international business to grow in the country, the government needs to improve on infrastructure, internet facilities, and create a business-friendly environment.
We should not be using legislation such as the Finance Act or whatever to amend 4 or 5 pieces of legislation. It creates confusion, it's not consolidated, it's not easy to keep track of, and that is where we make mistakes. And there is nothing worse for an investor. Nothing worse for an investor, nothing worse for a managing director of a company to have to do so much research in trying to find legislation that has amended this legislation, and this legislation has subsequently been amended by another legislation that carries a different name.
He admonished business people to support government in developing the country. and said this will only be actualized when the government also strengthens and enforces the law.
The commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission has said that they've got a special court that will be dealing with corruption-related cases. Francis Ben Kaifala disclosed this during a one-day training for City Council officials on the theme Upholding Ethics and Integrity in the Workplace. The training was organized by the Systems and Processes Review of the Anti-Corruption Commission. Doreen Barry reports.
Corruption is a menace hitting deep into the fabrics of the Sierra Leone society. No doubt that people strongly believe that corruption is responsible for the backwardness of Africa, including Sierra Leone. Too many leakages have been created by unpatriotic people to amass unexplained wealth. As an attempt to curb or minimize corruption in Sierra Leone, government have established a watchdog, the Anti-Corruption Commission. Thus, the ACC still continues to flex its muscle at suspected corrupt officials. It is against this backdrop that one-day training on upholding ethics and integrity at workplaces has been held as part of preventive measures being introduced by the Anti-Corruption Commission to reduce the spread of corruption. The training was part of the Commission's measures to fight graft. The Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Ben Kaifala, said the training is part of the Commission's effort to minimize the spate of corruption before it escalates. He told participants that the Commission has established a special court and expanded its investigation team to speed up cases. He emphasized the vision of the Commission in reducing corruption. Commissioner Kaifala informed the gathering that they have come up with stringent measures to enable the Commission win the war against corruption. The mayor of the Freetown City Council, Yvonne Akisoya, emphasized the importance of integrity, which deals with the ability of one's work. She said building the monumental structures of the city will help them transform the city. She cited rapid urbanization, poor planning and deforestation as major challenges facing the city. She said the council is resilient and optimistic to have a strategic transformation process that could help to rebrand the city and call on citizens to pay their local taxes if they want to see a transformed city. Deputy Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Shirley Davis, said the training will help build the capacity of institutions on how to prevent wastages and corruption. He described ethics and standards as the fundamental processes to be followed by institutions for effective service delivery. Director of Systems and Processes Review of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Rashid Toure, said the training was to promote ethics and enforce culture of integrity within the council.
The Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, SLRSA, has commenced a two-day training on road safety issues at the SLRSA headquarters in Freetown. The training targeted over 50 DJs from different electronic media houses across the country. Eric Lahai Bangura witnessed the training and he now filed in this report.
Participants came from different media houses across the country. They gathered here at the SLRSA headquarters office at Kissy Road in Freetown to be schooled on road safety issues so that they will raise public awareness on road safety in their different musical programs. In his PowerPoint presentation, the consultant forensic pathologist, Dr. Simeon Owis Kuruma, made it known that 1.3 million people die yearly basis as a result of direct and indirect road crashes. He explained that victims within the age 15 to 44 years involved more in road accidents.
Nearly 1.3 million people die in road crashes each year. Additional 20 to 50 million people are injured or disabled, leading to a reduced quality of life. More than half of all road traffic deaths occur among young adults aged between 15 and 44 years.
Dr. Owis Kuruma urged these participants to use their media houses to disseminate the information on road safety to reduce road crashes. The National Traffic Coordinator, Sierra Leone Police Superintendent Zainab Bla, said that their role is to enforce law against the traffic offense. The Public Relations Officer, Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, Abdul Dumbuya, said that targeting electronic media houses, DJs across the country, will be more effective in disseminating road safety messages.
As part of efforts to take road safety to the doorsteps of people all over the country, we have today decided to bring together a group of DJs from all over the country, 58 of them, from all districts and regions of Sierra Leone, for a training program so that they can be empowered to effectively pass on road safety messages to the people of Sierra Leone. You know, they have a very important role as broadcasters to pass on road safety. At the end of the day, we expect them to set up a structure to be known as DJs for road safety.
Abdul Karim Koroma, alias Pilot CPO, is one of the DJs who took part in the training. He explained on behalf of the DJs that he appreciated the training organized by staff of the SLRSA, adding that the training is timely in the area of capacity building.
In a bid to advance government's new direction goal in the energy sector, the U.S. Agency for International Development will implement a $2 million United States cooperative agreement to support the adoption of solar energy so as to reduce demand on the country's power grid. The move will directly impact several key areas of Ebola recovery and ensure future resilience in Sierra Leone. This was revealed during a courtesy call by the USAID Country Coordinator, Khadijat Mojidi, on the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Ali Kaba. Hawanat Bangrua reports.
The USAID Country Coordinator, Khadijat Mojidi, while briefing the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Ali Kaba, said the new Global Development Alliance is to promote sustainable energy through USAID's cross-boundary solar projects. The agreement, she further explained, establishes an alliance between USAID and cross-boundary energy holdings. She added that it aimed at increasing electricity access in underserved areas, increase economic activity by strengthening trade, investment and infrastructure, and increasing the capacity of the government to manage and maintain a system to distribute off-grid renewable energy. Madam Mojidi said the partnership will achieve these goals while increasing total energy generation capacity, increasing the penetration of clean energy technologies in Sierra Leone. She said it is expected that this project will be launched in September this year. Dr. Ali Kaba expressed thanks and appreciation to USAID and partners for creating such an alliance that will not only enhance access to improve resilience of business in Sierra Leone through cleaner and cheaper power, but will also make energy more affordable. The availability of energy, Dr. Kaba added, will help to foster a more robust environment for trade and investment, agriculture, education, and will attract additional multinational or regional companies and local enterprises to the energy ecosystem. This, he said, will clearly demonstrate that Sierra Leone is a viable investment destination. The Foreign Affairs Minister assured the USAID Country Coordinator of his ministry's commitment and support in creating the conducive environment to implement the solar energy projects in the country. Meanwhile, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, on behalf of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, presented a plaque to the U.S. Embassy and USAID in appreciation of their dedicated and substantial material support to SLAG during and after the 2018 general elections.
Parliament has approved 8 presidential nominees to serve in various capacities. Their approval came after the Committee on Appointment presented their report and recommendation to the House of Parliament after the interview process. Ahmed Sise was there and he now reports.
In his report, the leader of government business, Honorable Sidi Mohamed Tunis, said all the nominees went through a very rigorous interview process where members of the committee probed into the educational background, experience and vision of the nominees. Honorable Tunis furthered that the committee is satisfied with the nominations and believe that they can deliver in their various appointments.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, today's nominees are for very, very important positions. Revenue generation, we have a lady who a lot of our colleagues have spoken about, highly qualified and intelligent lady. I have no doubt that she will do her level best. We have a very young man in the Petroleum Directorate who has served other countries, who has supported other companies in other countries. He supported the discovery of oil in Ghana. He was a very senior engineer in Ghana. And today Ghana is enjoying oil. I hope now that you are in Sierra Leone, and as a Sierra Leonean, we will not only stop at discovery, we will soon be talking about production. And then Sierra Leone also will start enjoying the benefit of oil.
The leader of the Coalition for Change Party, C4C, Sir Emasi Lamina, urged the nominees to dream big and deliver in their various capacities.
Honorable members, let me limit myself to just 4 pieces of advice to those 4 that are categorized. Number 1, as a public service, Mr. Keoba, nobody here has an inkling of doubt for his journey that he has traversed through the public service of this country. And I have no inkling of doubt that he will do well. One concern for that particular sector, let there be an urban and rural diagonal matrix. Number 2, for the chief or the chairperson for NRA. NRA is the breadbasket of this nation. You do us good. A concern as you go to that particular sector that you have to look with a very strong eye. The mining sector, as well as those big private sectors. The Income Tax Act of 2000 leaves a very gray area.
Among the 8 presidential nominees approved by Parliament are Toma Adama Jabi, Chairperson, National Revenue Authority; Mansour Mbuya, Board Chairman, Sierra Leone Port Authority; Kalilu Oba, Chairman, Public Service Commission; Timothy Musa Kaba, Director General, Petroleum Directorate; and David Pandanoa, Executive Director, Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority. Honorable Lamin Kaba is an APC MP in Koinadugu District. He admonished appointees to be professional in their work and not to politicize their offices.
You need not be political. Your appointment might be political, but your service to this nation should not be political. So go into your various positions, and I do pray and hope that this honorable house will approve your nominations. And go out there and ensure that the new direction, every politician is selfish. As I am standing here, my biggest wish is for you to fail. But should I allow my selfish desire to overrule the desires of over 7 million Nigerians?
These set of appointees are among the list of about 16 nominations made by the President last week.
The question is that the 9th report of the first session of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by the House, and that the recommendations contained therein be approved. All those in favor say aye. Aye. A lot better. All against say nay. The ayes have it.
Ahmed Sisse, SLBC, Freetown.
Well, this is news on the SLBC as the Leonsters look to clinch victory over the weekend in a friendly clash with Liberia. The Lone Stars of Liberia, well, we'll only wish them good luck. But for now, for that and much more, let's join our sports presenter, Esther.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Updates on News Hour. I am Esther Mai Samora. In this edition, the third edition of the African Youth Games has commenced today in Algeria with a grand opening ceremony. Sierra Leone female beach volleyball team was defeated by Rwanda counterparts by 21-9 and 21-5 state win respectively. But before that match was the opening ceremony sent by Frances Bernard. The third edition of the All-African Youth Games got underway today with an opening ceremony held in Algeria. The ceremony took place in the July 5th Stadium in Algeria's capital city. The 80,000 capacity stadium is named after the day Algeria declared independence from France in 1962. Each of the competing countries at the Games participated in a parade of nations at the stadium, in which Sierra Leone was not an exception. As Sierra Leone's participation in the third African Youth Games commences, athletes from both beach volleyball and weightlifting will be in action at different venues in Algeria. Lamine Camara will compete in the 62 kg category at the Board El Kifam later today. In volleyball, Aissatou Ba and Aikade will play against Rwanda in Court 4, while Soni Bangura and Mohamed K. Bangura will take on their Gambian neighbors in a late fixture in Court 3. These youth games, according to the organizers, will serve as the qualification for the World Youth Games that will be held in A's. These youth games, according to the organizers, will serve as the qualification for the World Youth Games that will be held in Argentina in September this year. And head coach of Leon Stars, John Kista, has named a 20-man squad ahead of their friendly encounter against Lone Star of Liberia. The team is set to depart on Saturday, 21st of July 2018, as the match will be played on Sunday, 22nd July 2018 in Monrovia, Liberia. That's the latest update in sports. I am Esther Mai Samora. Thanks for watching.
Well, many thanks to Esther for bringing us the sports news. Let's now cross over to our entertainment producer, Mohamed King Milan Bangura, for the latest in the entertainment world.
Insanity knocks on my door and I'm breaking. The song Earthquake was released on July 2014 by Sierra Leonean Yasmin Kadi, who is an Afrobeat pop singer and songwriter. The song reached #1 on iTunes in Ireland. She performed on the UK festival circuit with Roots Manova, a London hip-hop artist. Yasmin Kadi was born in Freetown on 14th June 1980 of African and Lebanese descent, and her family ran away from the rebel war in 1991 and ended up in the UK, where they were eventually given social accommodation before they managed to save enough for their livelihood. However, her childhood dream was to become a singer, which was impossible for her in Sierra Leone. In London, she got her education and then a scholarship to attend a music college, the same college where the late actress and singer Julie Andrew of music movie The Sound of Music graduated from. Though Yasmin Kadi is far away from home, Sierra Leone is still in her memories.
Sierra Leonean, yeah.
That's it. Howdy, buddy?
Yeah. Howdy, buddy. The body fine.
Good. The body great.
What's your name?
When you hear Sierra Leone, you think blood diamonds. I'm a Sierra Leonean, born on African land.
In late 2015, Yasmin Kadi was one of the lead singers that appeared in the Guitar Hero video game, where she showed her talent and became popular throughout Europe. Yasmin appeared recently on BBC Focus on Africa show, where she expressed how proud she is as a refugee in England from the tiny West African country, Sierra Leone, and has beat all the odds to survive and reach her dreams.
I'm originally from Sierra Leone, West Africa, and we came over to the UK after the Civil War that started in '91. So obviously I've witnessed, you know, a lot of turmoil. And we ended up here in the UK homeless as refugees. And now I'm a singer-actress, but it took a long time for that transition and everything I'd gone through. But even though I'm not there, Sierra Leone, I'm with Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone's with me. I talk about it, I write about it, I live and breathe Sierra Leone.
Yasmin won the Judges' Choice Fans' Choice Award at Wembley Arena, and she toured the UK, London's West End, and the world in major musical shows. She has also been featured in TV commercials and movies. Recently, she played as a mate in the movie series Tyrant.
I can't bring her back to you. But my grandmother was a Nagaba. She was Druze from Lebanon, a poet singer. She taught me her funeral songs. When someone died in her village, everyone come to sing. But you're mourn alone. I'll sing one for you. A prayer.
Yasmin has worked with some London-based producers who have previously worked with Rihanna, Ariana Grande, Saturday's Tiny Temper, and more. The singer was publicly proposed to at a London mall by her British friend Williamson, and weeks later they were engaged. Recently, they tied the knots, and now the Sierra Leonean beauty queen and singer has been seen around with a bump, and very soon Sierra Leoneans are going to welcome a niece or nephew. We wish her the best and a healthy delivery of a bouncing baby.
Dance with your girl, it's party time, it's party time, it's party time, and it's boogie time.
Well, many thanks to King Milan for bringing us the entertainment news. Now to end news, a quick review of our top stories. The former Chelsea player Michael Essien has assured President Bio of his intention to invest in Sierra Leone. The Ministry of Health and Sanitation has launched Sierra Leone Ebola database, and the Chief Minister has assured persons living with disabilities of free, quality education and healthcare. Well, that's it. The news hour, this hour. On behalf of the news team, thank you very much for watching. I'm Kojo Kwafo. Good night.